It's time to put your health in your own hands. Get ready to learn from today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tammy Patzer, and this is Optimal Health. Today is going to be a really interesting interview because I have the founders and creators of Laser Masters, the Laser Masters, and ReliefNow laser methods with me. And we have Dr. Rob Hanopole and Michael Rubenstein. And they've really put together something that chiropractors and other doctors should really lean into to find out about, related to laser technology, specifically class 4 lasers, because there's more than 900 medical studies about this topic that are just proving over and over again how powerful laser is in helping to heal the human body. So with that, let me just tell you a little bit about Dr. Hanopole and Dr. Michael Rubenstein. So this is really interesting to me because both Dr. Hanopole and Dr. Rubenstein have backgrounds in marketing and communications. So it just makes perfect sense to me that they would marry that background with their healthcare backgrounds. So Dr. Rob Hanopole, he started his career in management and marketing in New York City, working with Fortune 500 clients. And he really decided to pursue his career now in natural health and wellness and to apply all those business skills to his own practice. And lo and behold, success. So after opening multiple chiropractic offices throughout the years, he co-developed a book publishing company called Totally Booked Practice, LLC, for doctors to help them get their messages out while also positioning them as authorities and experts in their local communities. And that's actually how I met Dr. Hanopole and Dr. Rubenstein. And he sold that publishing company a few years ago, and the Laser Masters LLC with Dr. Rubenstein was born. And it is a fast-growing company, and it's helping doctors to build and grow laser pain relief practices with their already established core practices. So the brand is ReliefNow Laser Methods, and it is fast becoming one of the most common known brands related to Laser Master clients. And the big vision is that the Laser Masters member offices will go on to make this huge impact for the health of all of their patients and on all the people in the world, helping patients nationwide and even internationally through the fact that we can travel now anywhere in the world. And what I really love is their slogan, which is ditch the drugs and skip the scalpel. So with that, I'll start with you, Dr. Hanopole. Tell me more about why this is so cutting edge and why you're really focusing on this now.
Okay, well, thanks for having myself and Dr. Rubenstein on your show today. We really appreciate it. And, really, how this all came about was that we were providing laser therapy in our offices and getting great results. And, the results were just, coming, every day. I was amazed. It got so much that I'd go home at night and my wife would literally tell me, please, stop telling me another laser story. But I just got very passionate and very excited about laser. At the time, we were actually using less powerful lasers. And then when the higher powered class 4 lasers came out, it was a game changer. And I realized, early on that laser really is not just a technology, but it actually lends itself to a complete business model. Okay. Because, it stands on its own. Patients would come specifically just for laser, not looking for any of the other services, in the office. And then I realized, you can't have, the hot pack center, where you really can't open up. You really can't open up the the electric muscle stimulation center, but you surely can open up a laser pain center, because you have laser spine centers and you have laser eye centers. So laser actually lends itself to a business model, not just a piece of equipment, when you position it differently and you really highlight it and you put it front and center. And then there's a few things that really happen when you do that, and I can discuss that with you, in a little bit. But it became a game changer for our office, and actually helped solve two problems. Problem number one is patients suffering from really debilitating, pain, and that didn't really want to, rush and have surgery, and really wanted to reduce or eliminate their medications. And the laser helps with that tremendously. And problem number two, we realized, was, there was a lot of doctors out there, a lot of other chiropractors and other types of doctors that really, just through talking to them, they would tell me they were just sick and tired of dealing with insurance companies and just, really getting burnt out. And I've even had doctors tell me that they wanted to open up, different franchises like a Subway or Jersey Mike's. And I realized, geez, what we have here is a solution for doctors, and we have a solution for patients. So it's really perfect. And what we were able to do is, in our own office, create a business within a business, or a practice within a practice, which was our laser pain center, along with the other part of the practice. And then we realized that, that was really magic. And we're seeing so many more patients for specific conditions that normally wouldn't see us on the other side of the practice, or the chiropractic side of the practice. And really four unbelievable things happened. Dr. Mike can maybe expand on that, but really four things happened in the office that just blew our minds. We realized, wow, we're really onto something here. And we really need to expand this, because we can help people, nationwide, really worldwide, to not suffer anymore, to reduce, like I said, the medications, avoid surgeries, and help a lot of doctors to really, have that gratifying feeling also, and also really, increase their practice and their private pay income, and get freedom from the shackles of insurance companies.
So do you want to add to that, Michael? Because I know when I first met you, both you and Dr. Hanopole had just written a book, The Pain Blasters, and that actually ended up being a #1 best-selling book in 7 different categories related to laser pain management and pain management, alternative health. And I was just looking at that, and I'm thinking to myself, the Pain Blasters book still stands to this day in those categories as a very popular book. So can you expand more on what Dr. Hanopole was talking about that you really noticed in your practice?
Oh, absolutely. And again, thank you for having us on. It's a pleasure to be here. So we started noticing a bunch of things that were happening. We were having people travel further distances to come see us as patients, where they can go to Dr. XYZ down the street. They were coming to us for laser therapy because we were experts in this field. We're experts using this piece of equipment. So it was pretty amazing to see that. All right. So we had someone just recently come from Jamaica to see us, from the Bahamas. People were coming down from Orlando, which is a 3.5-hour drive for multiple treatments, to come see us because of what we provide in the office, right? Because we provide the ReliefNow laser methods. So it's pretty astonishing to see that stuff kind of transcribe and unfold. Another thing we've noticed, that we were getting patients that had other chiropractors coming into our office. It was amazing. Patient would get off the treatment table after a treatment, say, "Hey, can I go see Dr. Smith for my adjustment after my laser treatment?" And we were, "Sure, go ahead." So this is a patient that would never be able to come to our office before because they already had a chiropractor. So they were seeking out additional help for whether it be a shoulder, a knee, plantar fasciitis, et cetera. And they came to see us as laser experts. So that's pretty amazing because that patient, again, would have never come into our office. The other thing, too, is that we're actually able to treat patients at a whole different level. Chiropractic is great. We're able now to treat extremities from, again, knees, shoulders, elbows, plantar fasciitis, and actually help them get better as a result of healing. We're not just masking it like a lot of some of the medical professions do, right? We're not doing unnecessary surgeries. We're doing it invasive as possible to help them feel better and actually get better as a result of healing. So it's pretty astonishing stuff to see this unwind in our day-to-day practice.
That's really fascinating. I think that when I hear about what you're doing with your ReliefNow laser methods, the word healing is such a big word. And I know that every doctor, chiropractor who I've ever talked to, because they're always thinking about the patient's overall health and how they can help that person, live a better, high quality life. And often, like Dr. Hanopole said, the insurance companies can create a lot of havoc for doctors. So how you have brought several different doctors from around the country into your family of the ReliefNow laser methods. Dr. Hanopole, what are you seeing? What are these doctors telling you about how it's changing their practice?
Oh boy, we get our doctors, and we have a lot of doctor members. Again, we're growing, very rapidly right now. And I would say on a daily basis, we're getting doctors telling us about all the different cases that they're now having coming into their offices and the results that they're getting. The doctors are doing great with extremity issues, like Dr. Mike said, shoulders, knees, feet. These are conditions that normally patients wouldn't really seek out chiropractic for. Chiropractors know that they treat those conditions, but generally the public is looking at chiropractic as back and neck doctors. Okay, so it's really expanded their practices, and they're so grateful now that just by making that shift and tweaking that now they're putting themselves out there as doctors that can treat those other conditions. The other thing that we didn't mention was, unfortunately, through the years, unfairly, sometimes chiropractic does have a little bit of a little stigma around it, and we only treat a certain percentage of the population. And, opening up a laser pain center and being a provider of ReliefNow laser methods is really a solution for that stigma, because we'll have patients coming to our office or our member offices that in this lifetime or their last lifetime or the next lifetime, if that's what you believe in, they would never step foot in a chiropractic office. Unfortunately, for inaccurate, things that they've maybe have heard over the years. We've always been fighting that, but they'll come to the laser pain center within the office because it's a business within a business. And then we have the opportunity to really show them, how compassionate we are, and we show them, how we can treat them, and the patients start to learn about the other services in the office. And then a majority of them also become chiropractic patients also. And those were patients that would never go to a chiropractor, before. So, there's just, what Dr. Rubenstein said earlier, how we have patients that come in that already have other chiropractors. Patients travel from further distances. We're treating conditions that normally patients aren't seeking out our care. And we're seeing patients that would never go to a chiropractor. So that's the response we're getting from our member doctors. They're always telling us, wow, I can't believe it. This patient already has another chiropractor and they're coming to me for a laser. Or, well, I can't believe it. This patient's traveling, from Virginia to North Carolina to my office because I'm positioned as a specialist, in laser. So we hear these things, daily, and it is extremely gratifying, again, on two fronts. Because on front number one, we want our doctors to be very, very successful and make a lot of money, but we want that to come as a byproduct of helping more patients. Okay, so number one, we're helping so many more patients that normally would be seeking out, more invasive type of procedures, whether it's drugs or surgery. And number two, we're helping out fellow chiropractors to really be more successful and enjoy practicing again. And we hear it every single day. We have a text thread, with all the different doctors, and all day long, we're getting texts on how well they're doing.
That's really phenomenal. So the two of you, again, going back to that marketing and communications background that you bring to the table, that most doctors, that seems to be what they lack. They don't have that communications and marketing background. So when you're talking to other potential ReliefNow laser methods or the Laser Masters mastermind people who might want to work with you, what do you have to educate them about the most? Do you have to educate them about the class 4 lasers, or do they already have that knowledge?
Dr. Mike, do you want to take this?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of the guys, it's a mixed bag with that. So a lot of the guys, some of them already have class 4 lasers. Some of them are looking to get into class 4 lasers. It really depends on that particular person. The biggest thing that I have noticed is a lot of the how to explain laser to patients, how to let different people know at a level that they can understand what laser does and how it works and how it can help them. So we help them communicate that to how much better they're going to get by doing laser therapy versus going to get surgery or a shot, or, because in our own office, we have saved people from getting leadless knee replacements or shoulder replacements, or getting that extra cortisone shot, right? And getting them back to their daily living. So it's about communicating, and that's what we felt that most doctors need help with, the communication, as well as the way to display the laser properly in this ReliefNow method branding. So those are the biggest things that I've noticed, especially when talking to these doctors.
Tammy, we've even had doctors that already have lasers in their offices, and they've actually overspent because we also can get doctors lasers at extremely reasonable prices versus other lasers that are out there on the market. A lot of them we feel really overpay for the lasers, but we have doctors that work with us, members that have called us and said, I have a laser in my office. It works great. I'm getting amazing results with the patients, but I don't know how to really incorporate it into the treatment, or I don't know what to charge. And some doctors have even told me they don't even charge for it because they just don't have that business acumen. Okay. So with us, they get a complete business in a box. Okay. We're giving them everything in terms of, marketing, websites. They get a doctor's portal that's password protected with all the assets that you would see in any major franchise in this country, or actually, probably more than most franchises, with marketing materials and training and scripting and research. And we keep on updating it all the time. So they get a complete business. And the way that we explain it to a lot of the potential doctors is this. Think of Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin Robbins. Two complete separate brands under the same roof, sharing the same space, but two different offerings. So if somebody wants coffee, they don't necessarily want ice cream. If somebody wants ice cream, they don't necessarily want coffee and donuts, but they know that they can get it there at another time. Okay? So what we're doing is we're just showing the doctors how to maintain either their chiropractic practice or their spine and disc center, and then add a completely separate business within the business where they get everything from us to do that. Okay. And now they have a complete separate profit center, and a separate profit center that's also helping a whole new set of patients to get healthy without drugs and surgery.
My favorite part is about all of this is the without drugs and surgery. It's funny, earlier you mentioned about how many doctors give people shots, like the cortisone shots. That actually happened to me. And I got the shot in my knee, and when it wore off, the pain was like 10 times worse than it was when I got the shot originally. So every time I talk to you, I've talked to you about lasers and everything, it's always such a positive experience because of how it works. So what you're saying is that if a doctor wants to add laser, and maybe they've got a laser sitting there in their office, literally collecting dust and not making them any money, but they still have to pay for it, they could come to you and you guys could actually say, okay, let's get you up and running and open up your laser pain center. And then if they need a laser, they can come to you and you can set them up with the lasers they need at a much more cost-effective rate. That's really phenomenal. And another thing you said was about how some of these doctors have said to you, oh, well, maybe I should open a Subway or something, but their heart is in health. And every doctor I've ever interviewed who's authentic, they always talk about the wellness, helping people become well. They're not treating, the way that other doctors do it, where it's like, here's a pill. It's always, how can we get you well and get you, that relief as soon as possible, get you no drugs, no surgery, so that you can go have a real life. I think that's so important. What about the doctors? I know that some chiropractors or doctors who do lasers, they also might work with athletes or other people. How does ReliefNow Laser Methods work with in a practice if a doctor has a specialty, like, let's say, sports medicine or just any type of specialty related to that type of health and wellness?
So what I would say is that if any doctor that has a specialty, okay, in practice, adding ReliefNow laser methods to your practice, like Dr. Hanopole was saying, is going to give you a whole separate profit center. It's going to take whatever they're doing in terms of treating athletes or treating, maybe they're the foot clinic, right? It's going to take whatever they're doing and accelerate that by getting better results even faster. That's how positive the results we've seen with laser. And that's what we're able to help show the guys do, that there's this miracle that's in this box. They can fit right on a table. And you can help more people and you can generate more income from something that's, sometimes as big as a laptop computer. So a lot of guys don't see it that way, right? So it's able to help everything that they're doing and 10x it.
Wow. So when you work with these doctors and doctors' offices, do you go into the office like physically, or can you work with them via Zoom or some other methods?
So we have different membership options for our doctors. And one of the options is for us to actually travel to their office, do a whole situational analysis, and look where the opportunities are in their office to create a separate laser pain center. Okay, because with all the doctors, Tammy, what we do is, the first thing we do is we look at their branding, and we look at branding opportunities where they can position themselves as laser specialists. So we look at their signage, we make suggestions on their current signage, we look for opportunities to add their laser pain center and ReliefNow laser method signage. We look for opportunities to show that there's two businesses under one roof. And like I said, we can go to their offices. If we don't go to their offices, then what we always do is we ask for them to take pictures of the exterior of their office, of the interior of their office, areas where we can place or strategically place videos about the ReliefNow laser methods, where they can place posters, brochures, where they have a separate space that they can provide the laser treatment, because it's very, very important that the doctors position this as a separate business. We tell them, if you have the laser sitting there next to your ultrasound machine and your electric muscle stimulation and your hot packs, that's not our model, okay? Because now you're treating the laser just like it's another modality. But you have to take the laser and put it on a pedestal, per se, okay? And you have to make the laser into its own laser pain center, and that's where the magic happens. So we show them, how to do that, whether we go to their office or we just do this, by Zoom and talking to them on the phone. We have a couple different, like I said, membership options. One option is they get a lot of private tutelage and coaching, Zoom calls, but all the members, we do Zoom calls bi-monthly. The doctors all get websites, and the websites are very standardized because we're really now gaining traction and creating equity in the ReliefNow Laser Methods branding. And we're creating a national website or national directory. We have TV commercials that the doctors can use just for laser, for conditions like neuropathy. We're also teaching them how to combine laser with neuropathy treatment, with non-surgical spinal decompression. So they get a whole business in a box. Like I said, the portal on the website is full of different assets that they can use to build a practice. We have Zoom calls. We have a text thread that goes all day long with doctors. We have a private Facebook group, and we also take all questions and calls. We get back to the doctors within 24 hours. And it's in our best interest to build this because, Dr. Mike and I didn't mention this, but it's also giving us the ability. You see, when you're in a practice and you're in a brick and mortar practice, you see most of the patients from, your general area. And then again, like we said, people will travel to us. We had a patient driving 3 hours, like Dr. Mike said. But, for the most part, you're still in that brick and mortar. But Dr. Mike and I now look at this as a way that we really can positively, affect, this whole country. If we have offices in every single state, multiple offices in every single state, how many more people are going to be reducing, any dangerous medications? How many people are going to be avoiding surgery? How many people are going to be, getting well? So we look at this also as an extension of our own practice, where we can affect more people in a much larger way, through our ReliefNow laser methods.
So if a doctor works with you, and let's say that there's a doctor in Pennsylvania somewhere, do they have a radius that you would say is protected? How does that work? How does that part of the model work?
So go ahead, Dr. Mike.
So typically we'd like to give our doctors a zip code, right? So we like to give them enough radius to where no doctors are overlapping with each other, because we understand that people are going to be traveling further to see them. So we like to give doctors a zip code or two within their areas so they can kind of have their own areas and own zip code, and it's exclusively limited to them as a first come, first served doctor to that area. We like to give that as an added bonus of being part of our membership team.
But there also is an advantage to having clusters of offices that don't directly compete with each other, because now when we're offering certain radio and television commercials, they can really co-op and share with the advertising. They're not competing with each other, but they may be in very similar media markets.
That's really interesting. So if somebody wants to become part of the Laser Masters ReliefNow laser methods system, from start to finish, like they say, hey, doc, I want to do this. How long does it take to get them up and running so that they can start making money on this?
So typically, there's a process, right? We like to have a call with that initial doctor. We want to make sure that that doctor is on the same mission that we are on, and that all the guys are on in our group and all the doctors are in our group. We want to make sure that they share those things. We want to make sure that we're a right fit for each other to work together, because we hope to be working together and build a strong relationship with this doctor until we can't help any more people, right? So we want to be with them and help them for a long period of time. So after that conversation and after we start getting their website up, and it's all about them getting the information back to us too. So from the time of conception to getting started, I mean, they can be profitable. I mean, as soon as they get their first laser patient, right? I mean, they can be profitable as soon as they talk to one of their patients in their office. Said, "Hey, I have this amazing new treatment. You've been plenty of knee pain. Let's get you started." They're already profitable. It could be as quick as an hour, right, from when they start, or it could be as quick as a month. It all depends on the doctor's ability to talk more about the laser and really get us the information we need. But as soon as they come aboard, I mean, it could be that quick.
Wow.
We're really big, advocates, Tammy, of ready, fire, aim, meaning all the ducks don't have to be in the row. The mother duck doesn't wait until all the little ducklings line up and then cross the road. So as long as we're, 70% there, let's get going. A matter of fact, one of our newer doctors just texted me today. And he said, look, I have the laser and I have some posters and I ordered this and I ordered that and I got the brochures but the room isn't quite ready yet. And, so should I just wait until everything is perfect? And I said, no. I said, let's get going, okay? Because you're going to make it excellent. It's going to become the way you want it to become. But right now, if you're not doing it, you're not helping more patients, okay? So, as long as everything is in motion, then get started. And over time, he'll have everything he needs. But we have some doctors that within a month or two have done significant numbers in terms of really helping patients and increasing their income. And we have doctors that have really told us that we really, turn things around for them. We have one doctor in particular that was ready to change careers. And now his practice has more than doubled and has really become a leader in our group that a lot of the other doctors really turn to also for advice. And that's something I wanted to talk about real quickly or touch on, is that there's a lot of camaraderie. You see, when you're in practice by yourself, sometimes you really feel like you're on an island. And then what happens is you end up calling your friends, because if you get a little bit slow or, you get a little bit worried, creeps in, and you call your friend, how are you doing? Are you busy? Or are you not busy? And you kind of go down that rabbit hole. But what happens in our group, what we found is that there's so much camaraderie and everybody is helping each other. And if one person's a little bit down, the other members start to bring them up and they give them advice. So, just for that alone, I mean, that is invaluable. That is invaluable. And literally, for what we our membership rates are, that alone would be worth everything, because just to have a group that is a support group in practice and helps you and on a daily basis, you get some tips or some little golden nuggets. That's worth everything. Matter of fact, a couple of our doctors have already mentioned they can't wait until we get everybody together and have like a gathering or a laser masters gathering, because we're starting to develop some really nice relationships and friendships and camaraderie. We just met with one of the doctors last Saturday night. It was down in our area. We had dinner, and it's just really becoming just a fantastic organization. And we just really invite other doctors that want to come join us.
So if somebody wants to reach out, what's the best way to do that?
So they can go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say they can contact us at the Laser Masters. 888-290-9921 is our phone number. They can go to thelasermasters.com. That's thelasermasters.com. And we get back to them quickly and can help them get ramped up in a relatively short period of time.
Super. Dr. Rubenstein, do you want to add anything?
No, Dr. Hanopole hit all the key points of how to get in touch with us. So it's perfect.
Great. Well, I think it's really exciting because I have had the privilege of interviewing some of your members and doctors, and they are hot, they're on fire, and they really are excited about helping all their patients with lasers. And I've learned so much about them. What surprised me was that there are more than 3,000 different areas that can be treated with lasers. And when you just think about, that's a pretty phenomenal number of conditions that can be helped. And every one of these doctors, if they just think about the patient that, now they can actually walk without a limp, because they had that laser on their knee or on their hip. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal stuff right there. So I really appreciate the time that you took to tell us about this, and I'll make sure that the websites are easy to find in the show notes for the show. And before I let you go, Dr. Hanopole, anything else just as a closing?
As a closing is, if you're feeling a little bit burnt out, if you're looking at other career options, if you just don't feel like you have that fire anymore, please contact us, okay? Because these are some of the attributes of some of the doctors that we've brought aboard, and some of the doctors that Tammy, you have met, and they're like different people, okay? Because I really feel like most of the doctors, and most of, whether they're medical doctors, because we did bring some medical practitioners on board, and chiropractors, sometimes, again, they just need a little help, and they're looking for something, and we can really help them to really get that excitement and enthusiasm back. Because if they go open up a Subway or a Jersey Mike's sub shop, they make some money, but they're not going to have that gratification of really who they are and why they went to school. And what we're doing is we're just giving them a way that they really can create, that happiness and that success and enjoyment and gratification, get that back in their lives.
Well, that's phenomenal. And it really is all about optimal health. So everyone, this has been Dr. Tammy Patzer, Optimal Health, and we've been talking with Dr. Rob Hanopole and Dr. Michael Rubenstein, ReliefNow laser methods. And I'm excited, talk to them and get on fire. This is just as an opportunity. Knock, knock, knock. If you're listening to this, then you're in the right place. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, Tammy.
You've been listening to today's top health and wellness innovators and thought leaders on Optimal Health Radio. To get more solid health and wellness information, visit OptimalHealthRadio.com.